Hello and welcome. In this video lecture, we are going to have a look at some of the display managers which are used for our X Windows system. Now, there's an important protocol which is known as XDMCP, which stands for X Display Manager Control Protocol, which provides this functionality of enabling your X server to be able to listen to the remote X server requests or remotely accessing the X server applications. Not only that, to give the display to the local system or to the console, it also starts the local X server onto the system. So basically there are a couple of well-known industry display managers. One of them is XDM, which is pretty rudimentary or basic in its functionality. This stands for X Display Manager. Then we have GDM, which is for genome based desktop environment. So this genome desktop manager. We also have KDM, which is for KDE environment. Then we have LightDM, which nowadays comes by default for Debian based environments. This GDM, it comes by default for Red Hat based environments or Fedora based or CentOS. So there is another one less popular, which is MDM Display Manager, and is kind of recursive acronym. We write it MDM, and this M itself stands for MDM. Now, as far as configuration is concerned, you can configure different configuration files for any of these display managers. For XDM, the configuration file resides in etc, and then X11, this is the directory path. Then this is small xdm, and afterward the name of the configuration file is xdm-config. For GDM based desktop display managers, the path is usually etc/x11/GDM, or sometimes it's etc and GDM, and there is no X11. So really you need to look out for that where those particular configuration files are residing. For LightDM, this one over here, the path is etc and / then light LIGHT and then / and then the name of the file is lightdm.conf file, where we do the configuration related to Light Display Manager, which is the default for Debian based distribution, and Ubuntu is one of them. For KDM, it's a bit different. The KDM display manager, sometimes it uses files that are XDM based or XDM configuration files. Sometimes it uses files that are available in etc x11 KDM, and sometimes it uses etc/KDE then KDM. Let me just write. And sometimes it uses totally different kind of configuration file that we really do not know that how it got them from there or how it is making use of them. And the path for that is user library. You see, totally different. It's not even in etc folder. Then KDE4, and then lib executables. So totally different path path could be there in case of you are using KDM or KDE based display manager. Now let's head over to the actual machines and see that how we can see that what display manager is being used at the moment, and how we can change a display manager for our particular machine. So let me just bring up the CentOS operating system first, which is here, and I am already logged into the system. So let's bring up the terminal, and over here, if I need to see that what is the display manager I am using, the command is, and let me just add one more thing, that in the earlier versions of Red Hat and Fedora based distributions, the command to see that was let's say cat for concatenation, and in etc, then in sysconfig, and after that we could have typed in simply desktop and it would show us the default display manager that is running. But that is not available anymore. Nowadays, or in later versions of in CentOS, in Red Hat and in CentOS as well, the command to see that is through system control. And the way to do that is we need to type in system control, and if I press enter over here, it will show us all the information related to system control. But if I want to see specific information related to, let's say, display, I grab that particular information and ignore the case, and over here it is saying that the service for display manager, which is the GNOME display manager, and the service name is gdm.service. So by this, and it's loaded as well, it's active and running. So now we know that the CentOS operating system that I'm running at the moment, its display manager is GDM at this particular moment. Now we can see that the service is active and running. If we want, we can disable this service by typing in the command system control, and to enable the service, the command is enable and then the name of the service. But if we want to disable it, we can type in disable and then gdm.service. If we have got, of course, we have got GDM installed, but if we've got LightDM as well installed as well, then to disable or enable that service, the command would be system control disable and then LightDM dot service dot service. So if you have got LightDM installed on our CentOS operating system display manager, then we can disable this GDM service and enable LightDM service as per our own requirements. Now let's also see that how we can achieve the same functionality in Debian based distributions. Now here we are, I'm in my Ubuntu environment at the moment, and to see that what is the default or the current display manager at the moment, I need to open up this terminal, and over here I can type in cat and then go into etc, then x11 folder, and over here I can type in default display manager so that it shows the value that is in there. And you can see that at the moment it is using LightDM or lightweight display manager. The configuration file for LightDM, as I told you, is in if I type in, or I edit the vi etc, then LightDM and then lightdm.conf file. This is the configuration file for LightDM display manager, and we see that we have got some default configurations that are already in there. This line xserver allow TCP, I added this one. I can remove this one. Alright, so we need to do it using root privileges. So now I do that and I can remove this line. If you enable LightDM or if you install Ubuntu or Debian based distribution, then by default you will find these settings in there. You can change these settings as per your requirement, and which is to give you a different kind of feel and look when you log into the Debian or your Ubuntu based distributions. And let me also show you that some of the parameters that you can tweak in, and some of the default values that are not being shown over here, because this is the default configuration file. The values have already been embedded into the display manager, but you can change those default values. And let me just show you that where are the default values and how you can change them. So let me pull up this places, and let me just also click on this new folder. From here I click on file system and I go into user, then share, and afterwards I go into dock, and in the dock I need to go into that particular LightDM directory, which is, let me just bring it down a bit more. It is here. Just need to bring it up a bit. Okay, so this one is the one. In user share dock, then in LightDM, and this is the zipped file or the zipped folder that you can open to see some of the parameters that you can configure for your LightDM configuration file. For example, you can see that start default seed is true, greeter user message LightDM, you can change it by installing different greeter user parameters from the online repositories. And you can also see that user authority in system directory is false. These are some of the other default parameters that you can change. For example, X server allow TCP is equal to true. You had seen that I had removed this entry. If you want the X server should be able to connect to this machine, you should enable this setting. And also this is the XDMP port, and all very informative and configurable, I would say, parameters that you can really tweak in as per your own desires and the look and feel that you want to have for your particular LightDM environment. Now, once you change the configuration of this LightDM display manager, you save it, and then you need to restart the service as well. So let me just close this file, and let's close these ones as well. So to restart the service, you need to issue the command sudo and then service, then LightDM, and then restart. Now once I do that, you will see that I'll probably lose the session because this is the virtualized environment. So let's try to do that. Let's just try to restart LightDM service, and you can see that it might take a while to come back up. Alright, so it has come back up. I just need to log back in by giving in the password, and once I'm logged back in, let me also show you one more thing, that how we can change the display manager. At the moment I had shown you that it is using where is that? At the moment it is using LightDM. So let's say we want to install and run GDM or GNOME based desktop manager. How we can do that? Now first of all, we need to install that GM. So let's just say if I have got connectivity to the internet, which I do. Now to install GDM, I need to type in the command sudo apt get install and then GDM, which is the name of the package, give in the password, and it is saying that the package has been downloaded. It was downloaded already. It just configured it and stored it, and if I press enter over here on this window, which is you are seeing, now these are the options that I can use. At the moment this is using LightDM. I can set it to use GDM. So I highlighted this one using my cursor keys, and from here I press on tab to bring the selector onto OK, and then I press enter over here. So let it just do its configuration, and once that is all done, we need to restart the machine, which is the recommended one. We can also log out, but it is better that we restart the machine. So let's just try to log out and log back in and see if our display manager has changed. Given the password, get back to the machine, open up the terminal, and now let's try to see that what is our display manager at the moment. And now you see that the display manager has been changed to GDM or genome based desktop manager as compared to LightDM, which was earlier. Now we can switch back to LightDM by using command which is sudo and then dpackage or Debian package manager and then reconfigure. This is one keyword, dpackage-reconfigure, and then the name of the package that we want to reconfigure. In this case it is LightDM. So I press enter, I give in the password, and again same window has popped up. I select OK, press enter, and this time I select LightDM. Using tab key, bring the selector onto OK, press enter, and now LightDM has been selected. Now if I go again or log out from the system and try to log back in and have a look at the default display manager, now we see that LightDM has been selected. There is this command that I wanted to show you. It's called xwininfo. If I press enter over here, it gives me this message that if I click on a window like this one over here, it will give me the information of this window related to X server. So if I click on, I just touch this window. If I open another window, let's say this one, this is the calculator, and I run this command again, and this time I click on this window which belongs to this calculator, it gives us this information regarding the settings which are in X server. So we can see that the window title is calculator, and it is also giving its height and width and depth and also the cornering. So really a good tool if you are working on X windows and you want to see that what are the parameters of that particular window. There is another command which is xdisplayinfo, which gives you the detailed output of the X display that is running on your particular machine. So if I bring it up over here, it has got a lot of information. Let me just quickly show you a couple of fields if we are able to find them. Let me just bring it to the top, or maybe that information is gone. So let's try to do it using more. So we can see over here that let me bring it down. So this is the dimensions that are using at the moment. This is the resolution, the root window ID, and also we have got screen section. Let me see if it is there. So if you bring it all the way down, you will also find that what are the screens, what are the parameters or the X and Y coordinates that this screen is being thrown at. In case of console, the parameter is usually 0.0, which means that we start from the left topmost corner from the screen. So that is there to it as far as display manager is concerned. I hope you have learned from this video, and I would like to thank you for viewing.